Hey, it's Frank Jerder, that one web guy, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to show you a graphic resource that you might find useful for your business or just whatever you're working on. If you're creating icons or different graphics for your website, marketing, or whatever you're doing, there's times where you just need a certain icon and things like that, or a certain graphic element. So today I want to show you about a resource that I heard recently, or I stumbled across recently, that you might find useful. SVG SILH. I'm not really sure what the second part of that is, but I do know that SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. It's an image that you can resize readily while it's in the SVG format and use for different purposes. It's really great for resizing and scaling, either down or up in size to use on your website, marketing. Maybe you're doing a t-shirt design, or making stickers, or whatever your art format is, or whatever you're wanting to do with them. These are all Creative Commons, which means, if you look here, it says Creative Commons CC0. That means it's you can use it however you want. I've not had any problems with this site or using SVGs or using anything that's under the Creative Commons art thing. So you don't have to worry about somebody stalking you down years later and saying you owe hundreds of dollars for using a graphic that you had. They're pretty strict on that with the CCO on this site. So it's a good resource. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out though is you have a lot of different resources. Of course, the site's not the best layout. It's pretty easy to work with, but it's obviously ad supported. So you can see here there's banner ads, and if you reload, you'll get different ads that load. Down here at the bottom, I just want to show you real quick, there's different categories. So you have these default categories, and I think these are the popular images that people use for different reasons that have been pulled up based on the number of clicks, I imagine. But there's several different ones down here. Like if you click on technology, you're going to get a bunch of different technology graphics and things of that sort. And as you can see, that's pretty useful in its own. But there's another cool feature that that a lot of other sites that I've seen for SVGs don't have. Of course, this says 587 images of 130 pages. And before I move any further, I wanted to show you kind of the layout we were talking about before I get into this other aspect. We talked about the links down here at the bottom where you can actually, on the front page, I guess it goes away on the second page, but you can go, it shows multiple pages, as it says up here in our headline. It says 587 images across 30 pages. This is one of 30. You can set the language. So if if your default language isn't English, you can use any of the options here, which makes it nice. And then you have a search form. So maybe you're looking for a particular graphic. Maybe you're looking for a gear icon or something like that. As you can see, we have gears listed there. So there's different icons here that are all gear based. Now, the really cool feature here is because these are SVG, they are done with a markup language. It's a vector or an image. It's a two-dimensional image that is designed with a markup language, so it makes it scalable. But it also, what's really cool is it also makes it color changeable. So we can go through any of the colors here. We have 1 through 20 different colors. So if you wanted white, you're using a graphic and you need it white, which is really hard to see here, but or these different colors. I'm not going to guess colors because I do have a little color blindness in certain colors, believe it or not, being a graphic artist. A lot of people laugh at that, but you can see that there's different colors here that you can choose from, and it'll automatically change it to that color. And then you can just come and download it. If you want to leave it as an SVG, which I recommend, you can bring that into Illustrator, Photoshop, or any online graphic service that you're using, or a PNG, which both of these give you the transparent background. So you don't have to worry about bringing it into an application and trimming out the white where you would, like if you got it as a JPEG file or a JPG, whichever you want to call that. It's transparent background, which means you can drag that right into or download that and use it right into another application. So, as I said, you can pick the colors that you want, find the images that you want. I've noticed once you have it set for a certain color and you go to another page, this says 230. We'll go to page 3 to see what we have on gears here. You can see that there's additional graphics here that you could use. It keeps with that color until you change that color. Now, another really cool thing here is like, well, maybe I wanted to match my site. You know, one of the things that I really recommend is when you're creating a site or you're creating an art project is to create a color palette. And I've done a video before on an application called Coolers, and you can find that video. I'll link it in the bottom here as well. But there's an application called Coolers where you can create a color palette for your site. Or maybe, you know, you've already created a color palette and you have those colors saved. So what you can do here is on this very last option, if you click on that, it shows that we have a color palette that we can pick a color. You know, you can try to guess, you know, by sliding the color. There's this little dot in here. You can move it around as well in here. And you notice these numbers change. And some people work with RGB, which is red, green, blue. You can also work with it's the hue, saturation, and luminosity, however you want, whichever you prefer, or the hexadecimal, which is normally what I work with when I'm working on the web. So for my case, I may want to work with it in an orange color that I normally use, and I'll click down here to the hex, and I can use you know, my favorite orange, which would be I think it's let's see, D28B32. That's it. Click on that, and now all of them are the correct orange to match my site, which I find pretty cool. Or maybe I want it to be more of the gray on my site. I click down here again to the hexadecimal, and I'll use the gray that I normally use, which is 3F, 3F, 3F. Click enter, and now everything will be that kind of charcoal gray. So you can see that I could use that however I prefer. They also have a color picker, but the color picker, I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm not seeing it really work. So I imagine this is just part of the plugin. I've seen this palette selector on other sites. So on those sites, you click the drop icon dropper, and you know, select a color, and it would, you know, match that color with the color you selected. So I'm just going to leave it at the gray here, and I just want to show you that we can, you know, maybe I wanted to grab this gear here. I'll just click on the SVG, and it's downloading it. Oh, it's already downloaded, and I can use it wherever I want them. So, and you can see here that it's marked public domain, public domain, public domain, which means you can use it anywhere. So I just wanted to run that by you and share this site with you. I think you'd find it useful, and I hope you have a lot of luck in your marketing and your business. So I'll be back with another video again soon. Thanks.